All right, this is an overview of the blood typing activity. Basically, when we have a red blood cell or an erythrocyte, there are several different antigens it can have. So it can have an A antigen, it could have a B antigen, or it could have an RH antigen. And so these are determined by genetics as far as which antigens we have. A person with all three would be AB positive. If they were missing the RH, they would be AB negative. And then if they were missing an A or a B, or both the A and B, they would be O positive or O negative. So the positive or negative indicates if we have our RH antigen, and then the A and B obviously indicate if that A or B antigen is present. So if you don't have either, then it's type O. One of the things that people get wrong a lot is that if they're identifying a blood type, they won't include that positive or negative, and they'll just write AB. And so that's not a correct answer. You have to have either negative or positive there. So let's look at a person that only has the RH. So this person's blood type would be O positive. And then as far as the antibodies that they make, they're going to make antibodies to whatever they don't have. And so they don't have an A, and so they would be making antibodies against A. And we would call these anti-A antibodies. They also don't have a B. Okay, so we're going to see them making antibodies against that B antigen. So these would be called anti-B antibodies. So those are the two types of antibodies an O positive person would make. Now, in terms of the type of blood they could receive O negative blood, and they could receive O positive blood, but that's about it. They can't receive anything with an A or a B on it. Let's look at another example. Let's give this person only a B antigen on their cells. And so now, as far as blood types go, this person would be B negative. Okay, so remember the negative indicates whether or not that RH is present. And since it's not, that makes them B negative. Remember, if you don't put the negative or positive, the question is not going to, it's not going to be correct. The answer won't be correct. So this person has B negative blood. The antibodies they make are to whatever they don't have. So they don't have an A. So we would say, okay, they're going to make anti-A antibodies. And then they don't have an RH. So they would make anti-RH antibodies. So those are the two types of antibodies they would make. Now, if we wanted to give them a blood transfusion, the types of blood they could receive are obviously B negative. They could also receive O negative. And that's about it, because any other blood type, if you wanted to give them A negative blood, well, their antibodies are going to react with that A. So we can't give them anything with an A. And then if we give them any kind of positive blood, like B positive or A positive, then their antibodies for RH would react. So we can't give them anything with a positive. Right? Now if we do a different one, let's do this one, and we'll give this person an A antigen, a B antigen, and the RH antigen. So this is our AB positive person. Now, if you had to say which antibodies they produce, they're not going to produce any against these antigens because they're all considered self-antigens. So they wouldn't be making any antibodies against those. If we wanted to give them a blood transfusion, this is considered the universal recipient. And so we could give them A negative or A positive, B negative or B positive, O negative or O positive. We could give them AB negative or AB positive. So all the blood types would work as far as a transfusion where AB positive is the recipient. Let's do another one. Let's give this person an A and an RH. Okay, so there's her RH antigen, and there's her A antigen. So the type of antibodies this person makes is going to be whatever it doesn't have. So he doesn't have a B, so he would be making anti-B antibodies. And as far as the blood type that this person could receive in a transfusion, so he's A positive, that's his blood type. So the type of blood he could receive could be A negative or A positive, or O negative or O positive. Okay, so those would be his options as far as the type of blood that person could get in a transfusion. The biggest mistakes people make is they don't name their antibodies with the anti in front of it. They would just say B antibodies or A antibodies, and that's incorrect. You want to make sure that you have anti in front of it. So the other big mistake that people make, in addition to putting anti in front of the name of your antibodies, is having a positive or a negative. If you write a blood type without the positive or negative, it's incorrect. So make sure you remember to do both those things, how you name your antibodies, and then including your RH antigen indicator, the positive or the negative, including that on all your answers.